Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's cryptocurrencies update with Cardano's blast from the past. Yes, it is good times ahead for Cardano, while everything else is just dragging its feet. Until we see breakouts, we remain on the fence. But Cardano got the breakout and is moving higher as expected, and I'm glad I alerted you to this one. I don't care what the fundamentals say. I don't care what you think about it. Up is up, down is down. That's all that matters. Opinions are for cocktail parties, and trust me, the opinions get more opinionated the more alcohol is in your body. So don't worry about it. The opinions, excuse me, I mean, well, worry about price because price is what we trade. That's all there is to it. Remember, no update on Friday. This is the last update of today because actually I'll already be traveling on Thursday. So let's have a look at then Cardano. Was it Monday? I already warned that we were looking for a potential breakout, and that has worked out mighty fine. So now we're starting to track for higher highs, higher lows. The higher high we already have, okay? That's great. In the whole downtrend here, we essentially only had one or two higher highs, and that's about it. But now we're starting to move away from this downtrend and towards the first Fibonacci retrace level, 23.6. That looks like a good upside target. Price is strong in all respects. Money is flowing into Cardano. I like it. First target is then somewhere around 125, 135. 125, 135. Okay, easy peasy. Let's look at Binance Coin, still stuck between a rock and a hard place. Doesn't get much traction. As long as we can hold support at 390, we can target 430, above 430, 500, and vice versa, below 365, maybe 355, depends a little bit on your accuracy, so to say, of how to assess these boxes we're in. We can drop all the way back to 290. This remains the same. Yes, we have a technical breakout from this downtrend line, but so far no real follow through yet in the sense that we haven't broken above this critical 430 level. It's absolutely critical. Why? Look back here, August. Resistance, 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 resistance. It turned here into resistance, false breakout. Eventually we got it, okay? Support, resistance, resistance, resistance. So this is a critical level to take out for the bulls. Until then, it is more sideways, stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is kind of picking up pennies in front of a steam train. Actually, the steam train is kind of standing still, but you know what? Again, it is what it is. Patience. Patience is a virtue. This teaches excellent patience. Just be patient, sit on your hands, wait for the setup. Again, if you so desire to go long, all that stuff you want to do, please remember where the support level is. It is at around 390, 395, and what can happen if we break lower. Trading is all about minimizing your losses, okay? First, you minimize your loss, making sure you make as little loss as possible. 2 is where you make no losses. 3 is where you make profits. That's the order of importance, and everything else is gravy. Profits do not come first. We step into this market knowing that we can lose our shirts. We really can if we're not careful. Trust me, today I've got some emails of people that are in the stock market and down tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, that's what you get when you don't have stops in place, but we're buckling down and doubling up because opinions come first and all the losses be damned. It's sad, but that's what we get, and that's what I'm here for, to make sure you don't get those type of losses. All right, so if you can handle the little losses, you're fine. You're going to be set up for greatness. Bitcoin, let's assess Bitcoin's charts real simple. All right, we have our RSI 5, the strength indicator. We have the 200-day moving average, the Bollinger Band. It measures the standard deviation away from the 20-day moving average, which is the dotted line. We have the 50-day moving average, the cloud, the MACD, and money flow. Okay, RSI 5 is struggling. We don't really see strong readings as we saw here in October last year. So this is still weak, kind of weakish, right? It's not strong. We're making higher lows, so that is good, but the actual absolute reading is not so great. Below the 200-day moving average, not so great. at the upper Bollinger Band. Okay, good, but we need to see breakouts. We haven't seen it yet. This is more like a sideways consolidation. Above the 50, the 200-day and the cloud, that's good, because when things are above the cloud, just as in October, good things tend to happen. The same is when prices above the 50 and the 220-day moving average, good things tend to happen. So we're in a good things tend to happen type of setup, but remember, we are also below the 200-day moving average. That we were not in October. So that is probably why the selling pressure is rather dominant and this thing is dragging its feet. If we're above the 200-day, this is a full-blown bull. This is like a sleepy bull. It's kind of gotten a tranquilizer dart and it doesn't really haven't decided yet what to do. But we have to acknowledge the fact we're above these two moving averages. We drop below it, watch out below, then we can target 24,000. The MACD is rising and on a buy, so we have to acknowledge that. That's 1 for the bulls and 0 for the bears. That's great, but remember in sideways markets we've had pretty much all year, right? We're pretty much back to where we were late January. So this is a sideways market. Momentum indicators fail to really give an accurate picture, but the picture is rising. So we take it. Money flow is increasing, but we don't see the money flow readings as we saw here in October. This is what we want to see. This is where we see continued upside, right? It started already early October and you get continued upside. We're not there. The money flow is there. Again, this is a bear that has been shot with a tranquilizer gun, or maybe a bull actually with a tranquilizer gun, and it is half sleepy. So this is a neutral at best chart. And that is really the assessment. Watch out below 39,000. If we drop below the cloud, then worse things can happen. We need to break out, as I said before, many times, 44,300. Until then, we're still stuck in the soapbox. This is Soapbox, and it can take for I don't know how long. It will take its sweet time. Again, it will teach us patience. It will teach us to wait for the setup. This is the condition that we're in the box, and we haven't had the signal yet, which is the breakdown or the breakout. Okay, that is the signal we're waiting for. In the meantime, the chart is like, meh. I wish it was different. I wish it was like this, but I don't make the markets. I just follow them and I'll sit through them. Great. Meanwhile, my trading system, for example, my crypto trading alerts went long. Bitcoin is still long it, and I think we have a nice winning trade on our hands. Even in my crypto hedge fund, we've been cashing in some very nice short-term trades. So it is possible to make money. All right, it is possible, but you got to be on it. So it is possible. There are plenty of ways to do it. I'm just assessing the charts. And if you say, well, I'm not making any money out of it, again, there are many ways for you to use my knowledge to your advantage. And if you don't use it, then it's not to your advantage. That I can't help you with. So please take all those things into consideration. And then we move on to Ethereum. Same here. Let's look at Ethereum's RSI 5 reading. Where is it in relationship to the moving averages? What's its MACD doing and its money flow? It broke back above this downtrend line. So that's a significant development. Now, trend lines are not as strong a technical aspect as indicators because trend lines are kind of subjective. I can draw many trend lines on many different time frames and which one is important, which one is not. But we have to acknowledge we broke above it. Now, Ethereum kind of stalled here at around 24.35, right? You can kind of draw a line here. We had a few stabs below it and stuff, but 24.35 is really a critical level 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. So the width of this triangle can then be projected from the breakout to about 3,500. Excellent. Now we can also see on a shorter time frame, Ethereum is struggling here with, I would say, 35. That is resistance. That's also on the daily chart, the other daily chart. If we break out, then we have a breakout from, I would say, 24.35 to 30.35 that targets then around 3,600. So the upside potential here is around 3,500, 3,600. That's still there. We need to see it. Until then, we're still stuck in the cloud. Yes, we're above the 50 and the 20-day moving average, below the 200-day. MACD is okay, money flow is okay, RSI5 is okay. So it is, I would say, a glasses half full type of chart. It's nothing compared to October, November. This is the glass is entirely full type of chart. This is a here from December into January, February, a glass is entirely empty type of chart. So it is improving, but we need to see these breakouts happen. These are all the conditions that I point out. These are all the potentials I'm pointing out, but now we need to see the follow through, the signal, and that's the breakouts. And it can take its sweet time, but you know, patience is, again, is a virtue, and it will teach us a good lesson to sit on our hands and wait for the trigger setup. False breakouts aplenty, so never be surprised that it won't work. But this is really the potential that is in the charts that I want to point you out. Obviously, if we break below the cloud again, below the 20-day moving average, please watch out below, because then we can revisit the low 2000s and even the mid to high 1000s, like 1700. It is absolutely possible, and that's why we want to have stops in place. So it is, I want to almost scream at the chart, go, 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 but you know, I can scream all I want. It does what it does. So please be aware of this potential. I really want to point it out. Let's go to Luna or Terra. Looks like it either has completed 5 waves up or it can do one last 5th wave. I like the triangle that is forming here. As long as we hold this trend line here, which connects all these lows, this can still break out to target around 115. Okay. We did a marginal higher high for this wave 5 compared to the wave 3 here. Then we had A, B, C lower for wave 4. And the question is this 1, 2, 1, 2, or is this all of 1? You can see the 1. Hard to discern. I can make a case for both, because this low here doesn't go below this low, and this low here doesn't. So we're making higher highs. So this would then be 1, 2, 1, 2. And then this is 1, 2. That is 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So if we get the breakout, as you can see here, which is around 95, then we can target 150. So far, this is still stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's see how this is going to transpire. On a MACD type of reading, one can see a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So this also suggests one leg higher to go. Meanwhile, this is still a 100% bullish trend. Prices above the 10, the 20, the 50, the 200-day, and the clouds. And this is a setup as we have seen many times before. Yes, we can dip a little bit below those shorter time frame moving averages, but the general trend is higher. Again, if you're below the cloud, bad things happen or tend to happen. It's not necessary, but most of the time it happens. Same with above the cloud, good things happen. Pullbacks are buying opportunities. So let's see how this develops. We get the breakout, you get the chart, and you can see easily how this then will develop over time. If you get these breakouts, then we have this potential upside target, which is simply symmetry breakout on the width of this triangle. That's technical analysis. How about Polygon or Matic? Matic is still moving higher slightly, but it is also struggling because it is still below the 50-day moving average and the cloud. So we still have this potential wedge forming that would require on a breakout to target around $2. But so far, I'm not seeing the follow through yet. We need to get above these critical levels. Then we finally have confirmation that this breakout is real and not fake out. MACD looks good. Otherwise, RSI5 looks good, but these are all conditions and no trigger yet. Again, the red lines are the trigger lines that I want to see happen, with the upper one pretty much the ideal target. So we need to get back above the cloud and the horizontal resistance levels. Same here for Solana. Solana is still struggling with 95. It's trying to break out, so we got the breakout. That's good. That's step one complete. Okay. Step 2, back above 95. If we get above 95, we can target 115, potentially maybe 105. Okay, let's put in 105. Let's not get too greedy. I'm going to put in that one as well. That should be somewhere there. Yep, 105. And well, not 205, not getting too greedy here. 105. And if we get above 105, we get 115, and then we get about 127, etc. Okay, so this looks pretty good. We have an initial breakout. It needs to hold. Otherwise, it's a false breakout. And if we get above 95, then I am going to look higher, because then we're turning resistance into subsequent support levels. Then we start to see higher highs and higher lows. Until then, cautiously optimistic, RSI5 pointing up, MACD pointing up. So all the technical indicators are in support of higher prices. But remember, as I said before, when things kind of move sideways, the momentum indicators are not the best of all indicators to rely on. So we always have to look at other indicators, which is, of course, money flow, for example. Look how much higher money flow was here compared to where we were earlier. So we're pouring in money in Solana while it moves lower. So that's a good condition. Now we need to see this breakout finally happen. Again, this is all as slow as molasses. I'm quite surprised actually how long it takes. Maybe it is simply now setting up for a massive blast, so to say, just like we can see for Cardano. Okay, once you get these breakouts, they'll be pretty vicious. This is a nice 8% rally. I like it. Binance Coin, right, still sideways. So again, household items, please read about Elliott Wave theory in your bedtime reading. It will put you to sleep. Watch my how to do videos. It's all there to help you become better on traders, investors, and understanding the markets. Don't forget my crypto trading alert service. Okay, it will give a down markets alerts to go cash or short if you can short. If not, stay in cash. A service that will prevent you from losing money is worth its weight in gold. It really is, because rule number one is lose as little money as possible. Right? That's rule number one. You always want to have enough gunpowder left for the next bullish setup. It's currently long a plethora of these cryptos, and so far we're cashing in some nice trades. Ethereum is a nice winning trade already. Bitcoin close to a winning trade. Solana and Luna setting up nicely as well. Want to do it yourself? Please contact me. All right. Anything else? There's of course additional charges to it. Again, I'm not pointing this out for me. I'm pointing this out for you. If it's a win for you, it's a win for me. Okay, all I want is for you to make money, and if things go sideways, sorry, not my fault. I'm screaming at the charts go up, but they're not listening. Sorry about that. So remember, we're still stuck in this holding pattern, but nothing stays flat forever. Eventually we'll get the breakout. Just look at Cardano. So again, we all want to have exact answers. Impossible. So we'll stick to the price patterns and the charts. We've analyzed them objectively. Again, as long as last week's lows hold and we hold these support levels, everything can move higher. It's slow as molasses, but I think Cardano is the blast from the past, showing that what can happen if we do get these breakouts. The charts on the daily time frame are like neutral at best. You saw the potential that is in the charts for Ethereum on the breakout, what levels to watch. I'll put it in the summary slides. Same for Luna, same for Bitcoin. We're still just sitting on our hands on a holding pattern. But ultimately, as long as we hold last week's lows or even this week's lows, we can still slowly grind higher and watch it. I'm sure tomorrow we'll get blast off, something like that, right? It's going to happen when everybody at least expects it. So hang in there. We know the levels to watch. They remain the same. I can't say it often enough. And in the meantime, there are many other ways to make money in the markets. There's also a stock market. Move that money around to make sure it is always at work. That's really how it works, to make to not let it sit and rot on the sidelines, so to say. Make sure it's always at work. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, trade safe, have a great rest of your week, and I'll be back on Monday. And in the meantime, never hesitate to contact me in case you have any questions, comments, concerns, inputs, extra information, all that good stuff. All the best. Take care. Trade safe. Bye.